ComX. Welcome to ComX Recent Reads. It's another Monday night. It's another night to talk about comics. We are here with, let me get my little notes so I actually say the right things about everyone. We'll go from Ed, known for Radical Comics. Woo! Then we've got, and I'll ask you, what are you showing us tonight?
Tonight I'll be looking at Bip and Tracks by Dan Watts.
Nice. That's in my to read pile. I'm looking, so you can tell me if it's worth digging into the pile and finding. Shannon Browning, known for Robotoon and making awesome videos, which I won't play, but it's awesome. It's awesome. It's an awesome video. What are you talking about tonight? Sorry,
I'm going to be talking about a comic called The Wrong Earth, with a creative team that I'll quickly look up while Ed is talking.
Okay, cool. We'll go around like a clock. So then Sareb, who is famous for ComX.1. So it's ComX with an I. There's
Not to
an
be
I in there,
confused.
people. .1, the word one. And that is a cool site. What will you be looking at tonight, my friend?
So the comic I'll be talking about is digital only, doesn't have print yet. And it's by a creator called Sean Golding. It's called Guns of Brixton. Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
It's a really fun comic. Can't wait to talk about it.
Cool. And then Nathan, who's known for Three. I keep wanting to say Tree. Three Hollow. Three Hollow. I've been doing it all day, practicing. I've been practicing Tree Hollow. No, Three Hollow.
I guess there's some trees in it. I'm doing A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. It's a nice short title, which is an Image comic, so it's not local, it's international. So
That's okay. All comics are allowed here. And me, I am Sis from ComX. That's without an I. And that pretty much sums me up at the end of the day. And believe it or not, the only comic I've read this week is Three Hollow. So that's what I'll be talking about.
Oh, blindsided. Oh, I'm scared now. I'm scared.
Not intentional. I didn't mean to do this on the same show that you were on, but it's just happened.
You just did it because of less work. It's like, if I read this, I've already read it. I don't have to read another comic, right?
Well, that is it as well. See, Ed knows me well. Look at him nodding. He knows me well. He knows, that's just Sis getting out of doing some work.
I feel it. I've been there.
Okay, so this is the part of the video where... Oh, sorry. Comments, yes. Give us some comments.
So we got Absent Minded says, hi guys.
Absent.
Hi from Allison. Got Yo from Robert Keasley. We got
Lee
the
Chalker,
hand symbols from Lee. And Jeffrey says, g'day all. Hello to everyone.
Sweet. And what I was going to say is to everyone watching, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. That would be awesome. It helps us grow, helps us get more content out to you that you can all, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a joke and I can't think of one.
Consume it.
So this would be the part where we talk about the comics, I believe, unless I'm stuffing it up. So I'll go in the same order that we introduced everyone in. I'll go last for once. I usually always go first. I'm going to go last. So I'm going to start with Ed. Come on over to the big window, Ed.
Hello.
Hello.
Right. So I've got Bip and Tracks Intergalactic Real Estate, written and drawn by Dan Watts. And you can see it's in this odd format, which, look, and it's signed in 2016.
Oh, nice.
Is when I got it. And I just got around to reading it. So
I was about to do that. I was about to ask you if you wanted me to.
Reading it again, or like just reading?
So just reading it for the first time.
Oh, okay.
If you see there, one of the cool things is there's a little cast picture of who's on every page. and it's written and kind of framed like a newspaper strip. But then we get the single panels. You can see how good Dan is at black and white artwork. I think he's maybe one of the best in Australia at this kind of art. The way he balances the black and the white on the page. It's some like that with the really detailed stuff, but still really well balanced. And so it's about the guys, Bip and Trax, who work for Mr. D. It's that guy, and they have to go do a delivery, and they've got the bounty hunter guy is the pilot for their mission, and they get attacked by pirates who are trying to get the bounty hunter, and the thing that they're supposed to pick up a pet called Squeezy, and it turns out to be a big monster.
Oh.
And it flows really well. Like, it's a thick book, but because of the format, because there's not that much stuff per page, there's Squeezy. And they find out who the thing is. But it reads really quick. Like, the story's paced super well. And the full page panels, they all feel really deserved, and like they're it's just really well done the way he does it. And seeing this guy, there's a lot of stuff that reminded me of the early Ninja Turtles, the Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird stuff, with the because that guy looks like a bit like the last Ronin guy. But the Bip and Trax characters, just their design, like when they've got their little hats on and stuff, they kind of remind me of Ninja Turtles a bit. And it's got the wild sci-fi story. And what else? It's really well drawn. Dan Watts is such a great artist. I met him at a convention, and I got a original art of Bip.
It's nice.
And also, if you've got Radical 2, I got Dan to do the laser balls pin-up.
Sweet.
For the back of issue 2.
I love laser balls.
And that's a really great picture. You can see how he's balanced the black and white as well on that. I've got the original art for that, but I didn't start looking for it until about 10 minutes before the show starts, and I couldn't find it. But yeah, Shawnee's got the layout. Reminds me of Foot Flats books. It's very reminiscent of the old way they'd reprint the newspaper strips, like your Garfields and Snoopy books would often come like that. I've got no, that's not it. I've got a Snoopy book somewhere, but would show you for reference. But yeah, it's really well written. The pacing's excellent. The artwork's unreal. It's good comic books, and it's fun. It's a fun read. With all the bad guys are jerks. The good guys are kind of jerks too. Like it's good fun. It'd be great to see him do some more, because he's such a great writer. Like it's a really well made comic book.
Have you got anything else by Dan?
I don't think so. I don't know if he's done that much more stuff. Like he just did he did some artwork for that new toy line that he was talking about when he was on Let's Make a Comic Book, but I'm not that sure if he's done much more actual comic book stuff. But if he has, I would like to see it, because he's very good.
That's cool. No questions from anyone else? Doesn't look like it.
No, but it looks like a lovely comic. I love the newspaper strip layout. It's just so unique. Yeah,
it works really well as like a wide format kind of TV screen. It makes it kind of cinematic too.
Nice.
Okay, never thought of that.
Mm.
I spent too much time bitching that it wouldn't fit in my comic box. But that's just me.
That's one of the downsides of when you do a different size comic book.
Still
But
looks
people
very
don't
cool.
like
I have got a special box for all the odd shaped comics. Okay, we're going the same order. So that means Shannon's going to tell us about his book.
Thank you, sis. Okay. So I'm doing, it's probably I can only really describe it as mainstream independent. It's a book called The Wrong Earth. I discovered this a few years back, just randomly going through the comic stuff, and like the cover just seemed
I uploaded
intriguing.
it for you.
There we go. Basically what it is, imagine if the Adam West Batman and the Christopher Nolan Batman accidentally swapped Earths.
No.
So Adam West Batman running around with Heath Ledger's Joker, while Christian Bale is trying to take down, Burgess Meredith and co. It's by, I have this here. Sorry, excuse me. The writer and creator is Tom Peyer, Peyer. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
The original artist was Jamal Igle. I don't know. I've just mangled his name. Fantastic artist. I'm sorry. I apologize to him profusely. It's interesting the way they've been doing it, because they started it off as an ongoing series, and it had about 6 or 7 issues that way. And then they kind of canceled that, and they just have done limited runs since. Kind of reminds me a little bit of how they used to do Astro City.
Okay.
So whenever they've got a new storyline, they just do that storyline, which is a continuation. It's still all telling the same story, and one goes from the next goes to the next. But it just gives you a chance to not be burdened by all of this backstory at the same time. The lead character is called Dragonfly. Actually, like the grim and gritty version is Dragonfly, and then the campy version is Dragonfly Man.
Wow.
They both have a sidekick called Stinger. I think Grim and Gritty's version of Stinger got killed, and so he's on to his second Stinger. But the campy version still has his version, and the campy version is talking about things like like being a good citizen and instructing Stinger to finish his homework and clean his teeth, and the importance of a good diet and that sort of thing. While the other one is basically just telling him not to be an asshole and to do what he's supposed to do. It's an intriguing read. I really enjoy it. The art is fantastic. They've had a few different artists, but the majority of the art is done by Jamal. Very sort of realistic kind of style to it as well. So it really complements. He really does this great juxtaposition in doing the campy stuff and in the design rather than the actual artwork. So the campy version is, has pouches and has this simplified. He's obviously wearing like a jumpsuit that's been dyed, and he's got a cape tied to it, and you see the mask he's wearing and like the clip around it and how it's holding on. And then you see the grim and gritty version, and like it's streamlined and it's vacuum formed, and he's wearing a helmet rather than just like a cowl and that sort of thing. And same with the villains as well. Like the campy version starts dealing with just like cops and crims and that sort of thing, and he's shocked and appalled at just how violent and mean and horrible they are. While the grim and gritty version is losing his mind a little bit, because if he feels like the villains aren't taking anything seriously. I think there was a new issue out just last week or just recently, which I managed to read, where he's been going out and getting drunk in the campy world because he like nothing's realistic. It doesn't make any sense to him anymore. And it also plays on the whole thought of the multiverse. I think they call it the megaverse in this book. And how, you know, if there's a multiverse and anything that you do here, the opposite happens somewhere else, then does anything you do here matter? Which was something that they played with in the I think it was called Crisis on Earth 2 animated movie that DC did that had the crime syndicate in it. Owlman was talking about some of those concepts. But yeah, I really enjoy this. I always look forward to a new issue coming out. And I just think it's a really, really clever book.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty funny idea. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. Like I think DC, when they were doing the Planetary series, I don't know if any of you ever read that.
Yeah.
If you haven't, go and track that down. It's amazing. But they did a special one-off called, I think, Night in Gotham, where Snow and his team were in Gotham City in the Planetary universe, but there's no Batman there. But something was happening and they were jumping all through the multiverse and they kept on meeting all these different versions of Batman. So yeah, this is very, very similar to that.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Do you think that the way that they release them works better than just having an unlimited series that's constantly running? Like doing it in the
Personally,
chunks?
yeah. I like because of the way the business has worked, like that the regular series, something coming out on a regular basis is what we're all used to. And I get that, but that works best when you have revolving creative teams. Like you can bring a new writer on, you can bring new artists on, you can bring fill-in artists on and run in the middle of the run and that sort of thing. So once, you know, the creative team runs out of stories, they can bring another creative team in and can keep going from there. Since this is like creator owned, I appreciate the fact that they wait until they've got a story to tell before they tell that story, rather than just putting a book out to make sure they're hitting their deadlines. And I think that's a really clever way to keep, you know, to keep the story fresh and to keep the quality of what you're producing up. And it also just gives you something to look forward to. I mean,
Well,
you know, when all of a sudden a new storyline comes out or a new book comes out, even if it's been like 6 months or 12 months or something like that, like, oh, you get really excited. Hey, there's a new book. At least I get to read it again.
Nice. Nice.
Very nice.
Cool. Thanks, Sharon.
You're welcome.
Okay, so have we got any comments? Not at the moment, by the looks of it. Sarub, tell us about your book, my friend.
Awesome. I will try my best to share my screen.
Ooh.
If that does it. No, because this is a new computer. There could be a bit of... I apologize in advance if that happens.
This will be fun because this is set up to cover all us four when you share the screen.
Yes. Let me see. That didn't work.
I'm just admiring your Matrix poster on the wall while you're figuring that out.
Oh, thank you so much.
Ooh, nice. I didn't notice that.
I have a few. I have a Pulp Fiction one right here. I don't know if I can show you, and a Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm unable to share my screen, but
That's okay.
Can do a shameless plug. We're doing a launch party next week with the creator of the book. So all are invited. The book is called Guns of Brixton. It's about a punk rock band in London. Of course, Brixton is a suburb in London. They have flats there, as they call it. And this is a punk. It's about a punk rock band called Heads of the State. And they literally wear like masks of like Trump, and and they play all this anarchist music on the stage wearing these masks. They even have some lyrics and some songs playing in the comic, and it's really fun. And it just so happens that the mosh pit in that concert is the site of a zombie outbreak. So they're in the middle of the concert and they're squashing zombies in that punk rock concert. It's a really it's a very it's a fresh take on the idea, and it's a good mashup of like a lot of
Sounds
ideas
cool.
that already exist. All this government conspiracy theories and punk rock and zombies. When you put all of that together, yeah, it's a good mix. So yeah, I really enjoyed reading it. Like I finished in like 15 minutes, and I was like, oh yeah, this is like, yeah, it's so good. The creator is Sean Golding. He's a first time writer, and I was surprised by the quality of writing and stuff. An Australian based in UK, and the art is by an Argentinian artist called Renzo. His name is Renzo Podesta. Yeah, yeah, pretty epic comic overall. Like even like the feel of the pages is very grungy, and like they have an extra texture to it, like the whole like color, and it's all neons and things like that. Gives you like a very punk rock kind of feel to it. So yeah.
Cool. Not to repeat my question that I had before, but have you read anything else by these creators?
No, it's their first time creating this book, so I don't know
cool.
Renzo's other work, but it's Sean's first book as a writer. So
Mhm.
yeah, pretty exciting
fun,
debut, I would say.
Cool.
And the Guns of Brixton is a Clash song too, if you're familiar with them.
Oh, okay.
I
Cool.
can imagine what this looks like in my mind. Pretty grungy.
I'm getting the zombies in a mosh pit, to be honest.
Yeah. Is there like leather jackets and spikes in it? Yeah. It'd have to be. Yeah.
Some of the mosh pits I've seen, you'd wonder how they could tell which one of the zombies.
Yeah.
That's probably the point. Like you wouldn't notice zombies in a mosh pit.
So how were you introduced to this book? Just them coming to your site, or you found them somewhere?
Yeah, Sean just emailed me, and it was he just asked me like what's like, he just wanted to post on the site, and he was looking for avenues to actually promote the book. So I may send him here. He's pretty good guy
Yeah,
to
hell yeah.
hang out with. So yeah, he just emailed me, and it was really like really fun talking to him. So I thought and like, that's literally the only book I had read in the last week as well. So yeah.
Yep. So a bit like me, eh?
I have been reading a lot of books by like for upcoming Kickstarters and like some of the upcoming campaigns. So it's hard for me to read that's already there on the stack. Like all the new stuff keeps coming, and I kind of read them in the moment, and then the stuff that's stacked is already there, so it just stays there.
Yeah, totally know the feeling. Cool. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Sounds like a cool book.
Yeah.
So, my friend Nathan, tell us about these. Is it? Oh shit, I've forgotten now. Tell us about the book.
Yeah. So this is the biggest issue of this book. It's awesome, but it's A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. So you're not alone. I always forget it. I randomly stumbled across this one just like online because I was looking at different artists, and I was like, man, that cover looks cool. And then I looked at the art. I saw like a preview of the artist, and I was like, yeah, I'll just get that. Pretty much based solely on that and the genre, because it's like a thrillery sort of suspense sort of thing, which is my sort of jam in terms of comics and movies, anything like that, where you're kind of thinking like, oh, what's going on in the quote? What's going on? Like anything where I can't see stuff coming, I tend to enjoy it. So I'm like, I'm trying to figure it out in my head. So it kind of switches something on. I'm like, oh, like I like to be surprised a little bit. It's a bit of a unique comic. It's kind of about a guy it starts off like he's having a really bad day. Everything, it's like, you know, when you're having that bad day, you're trying to go to work and just everything little can go wrong, just does. And he's trying to have a smoke, and then it starts raining, and it rains on his smokes, and he's like, I hate life. And then so it's weird. I was like, okay, this is interesting. So the guy, I swear, is based on, if you guys know Wong from like MCU and stuff. He looks a lot like that. I don't know if that's
Benedict
an intentional
Wong.
thing.
He looks like Benedict Wong.
Yeah, it looks a lot like that guy, but there's no, everything I've seen, there's no mention of like that it's based on him or anything, but I feel like it's really close. But the artist is really cool. I think I looked him up a while ago. From what I understand, his background is like architecture. So he's Andre Lima Araujo. Once again, I can't pronounce that. And then the writer is Rick Remender. So I'm sure you guys would be probably, you would have heard of Rick Remender before. I haven't read a lot of Rick Remender stuff. I know he's actually like a pretty well-known writer. I haven't read a lot of his stuff apart from this. But essentially it kind of turns into like, it appears like he basically takes the bus after everything's gone wrong, and he goes to a house, and he's at the house. He's like looking around, and basically the family at the house have all been brutally murdered. So it kind of swaps out pretty quick from like, guy's having a bad day, knows in a bad situation. He kind of panics. So I don't going to give too much away. I'm just kind of giving the setup of what's really in it. And then he like panics and he's like, leaves. I'm going to get out of here. So the start of it kind of gets you intrigued. Like, what is this guy doing? Whose house is this? There's a lot of unanswered questions. It turns out really as the setup, it's not really giving much away because they kind of say it in the blurb, but badly. But essentially, he's impersonating a like assassin or a killer for hire, and on the dark web, and he's got an account, and he's essentially like, there'll be a job for that, like that person, like that family, there's a job out for them to get killed, and he's basically trying to prevent that in his own way, except he's got no skill set, right? So he's like the anti-John Wick. So he's like, if John Wick is really good, that's like my best explanation. Like, if John Wick is good, he can shoot, he can kill people. This guy's bad. Like, he's like underqualified, but for some reason he thinks it's, you don't know that, and that's the only thing I think they kind of hint at it. But there's obviously they'll explore that later, because this is only book 1, so I think this has got 5 issues in it. But they put a little couple hints in there, which I won't say, but you're not sure why he's doing it, but you assume it's because he's a good guy. So after that house, he goes back onto the website and says there's another job, and he goes straight back out. And this one he manages to get there on time before stuff has gone wrong, but you quickly see that he's in way over his head and has no skills, and he's up against very organized, very skilled killer or killers that are in the same thing. And then he's definitely a fish out of water, but trying to do the right thing. And I think that's the best thing about the comic. I thought was interesting. And the artwork is really cool because there is a lot of shots. Yeah. Like the setting shots where he's doing stuff like this. Like you can kind of tell that the guy's got a really good sense of perspective and just architecture. It's a very open line art style, which is I'm a big fan of. Like I like Frank Quitely, artists like that, where there's not heavy uses of blacks and stuff. So that's always kind of been, I'm interested to see how people can kind of, use that. But yeah, I just think he's got a really good style, like really good storytelling. My main thing was like I read it and you read it in one session. So it's half an hour, but it's like really immersive. So I read it, and it's almost like you watch the TV show. You're watching like, you know, Game of Thrones or something, and you're like, oh, it's over. So that was like, that's a big win for me, because you don't get that with all comics. You know, we've all had that, I think, hopefully, when you've read a comic and you're like, you forget you're reading a comic. You know, it's like that story, it's so well done that it's just, you're in the story, you're watching it, you're taking what you can, and then it's done. You're like, oh, I'm back in my room or wherever it was, you know. And yeah, like you don't always kind of get that from comics. Like different comics do different things well, but I think these guys with the writing and the artwork, yeah, I really liked. I won't give too much away in terms of ending, like how it spirals out of control, but there's a bit of setup. My only worry is that the setup kind of gets too big, because there's a bit of world building in there, and I feel like, you know how like John Wick starts off like a really small self-contained story, and then you find out that, like, yeah, all the assassins are working for a big company, and then they're competing. I feel like there's a little bit of that stuff going on in the background, and I'm like, yeah, I worry about stuff getting too big sometimes, because it can kind of, you know, get in the way of character sometimes. You're taking that focus away from those, you know, characters which you like, but that's just my kind of take on it. But yeah, I think that's kind of, I can't really say much more without giving, you know, too many details away. I'm sure you guys never heard of it or read it before.
No, actually.
Yeah,
and I want to now.
You know, checking.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a bit of gore in there. Like, it's definitely not a kid's book. You wouldn't give it to a kid to read. It's definitely like that kind of, yeah, like thriller, like mature kind of thriller you read. Like you don't quite know what's going on. There's a couple little spins in there, but there's like some humor as well. Some like really, like when he stuffs up, it's like funny. Like you kind of laugh at it, which is like, that's really hard to do. Where it's like, you know, it's like serious tone, but it's like, you know, he's trying to say something and just stuffs up, but it's not a comedic book. But the way they do it, it is funny. Because the kind of guy he is as well, because I think he's Chinese in it. I think from what his smokes are, I'm just making that connection there. But it's just funny because everything goes so bad for him. But so you kind of want to root for him. I think that's the thing. But, yeah. So yeah, I'll give it 8 out of 10 on that.
We're giving scores now.
I'm giving it a score 8 out of 10, which is for me, that's really high. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
What's the title again, Nathan?
Yeah, that's the biggest issue of this book. So, A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. I don't know if that's reversed. I feel like it is.
No, that's right.
So you can, yeah, it's on Amazon and everything, I'm pretty sure. But really, really good art and really good writing.
Sweet.
Really good colorist as well. Like the colors are like really like simple, but almost like Mobius. You know how like the old Mobius stuff is like really kind of simple color palettes that bring out the line art. So yeah. Hopefully that's enough to get someone intrigued. you people watching, yeah.
Cool, that's
but yeah,
awesome.
That's it.
I want to pick that up now and add it to my to read pile and never read it. It's not because I don't want to, but I just don't have the time. I will absorb the story by holding the book.
Or get angry at me because you're like, this was not an 8 out of 10. You lied to me, Nathan.
It's a 7.5, Nathan. Damn you.
Yeah. Your soft spot for that genre, I knew it. No. Yeah.
So you're like Rogue.
Rogue?
Yeah. I mean, says you're like Rogue, so you get the story by just touching it.
I'd touch it.
Oh, you
Excellent. Can we get a look at some of the interiors, like some of the character drawings and stuff?
Yeah, I'll try to find a good.
Anything that's safe.
Yeah, there's some nudity and there's some blood, but it's not in a crazy way. If you find a good page, it's fine. So probably the start. So that's like That's kind of like one of his opening scenes. So you see him.
Oh, nice.
So really good. Like it's really like open line art style, and you're kind of seeing, it's just like they do a really good job of just putting him kind of in the world and showing kind of how his day is going, but showing like he's a genuinely nice guy. Like this couple here, they're like they're waiting all for the bus and it's raining. He's like, "Oh, you go first," and then she can't close her umbrella, so there's so he's just standing out getting wet, and they can't get like she's like, "Oh, I'm stuck," and he's just like, and then that's how cigarettes get like wet, and then he's just like, "Oh," it's just like the stupidest like little attention to detail things, and yeah, but it's to kind of give you an idea, like he is a genuine guy, like he's a nice guy, but yeah, you don't know why. This is the only thing I think they're going to reveal later, like what's kind of going on with him that's making him do it, because you don't know his backstory. You just come in like boom, you know, you see him that first page where he's just standing there with the smoke, and like that's him. He's just walked out of a convenience store pretty much. So
yeah,
which is kind of a good way to start it. Yeah. So
it's got the open line art, and then it looks like it's flat color, like it doesn't have much.
Yeah, there is some gradients in there, but it is it's very flat. Like it's and there's the way they do the covers, like every like kind of like villain, like kind of killer, they have like has its own kind of color. Which they kind of see. They'll kind of like they'll do things where it's like kind of all like yellow sort of thing.
That's good.
And you're kind of seeing, they try to kind of, I don't know, I don't even know what you call that. I'm not coloristy, you know, but yeah, I think they do a lot of interesting things in this book, and a lot of it you don't even realize because like that's how good it is. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The art, for some reason, is reminding me of some old school Akira art.
Yeah, it's a weird because the guy is he's like South American or something, and because I remember watching, he hasn't done a lot of work either. Like he's done like a random like Fantastic Four like backing story, which is like 4 pages or something. I'm sure he's done more work now, but he hasn't like before this. He hadn't done a whole lot. I think he's done his own book, which I couldn't tell you what it is, but he's very good. Yeah,
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice stuff.
Yeah.
Back to me. Now, after all those wonderful talking about comics and wonderful descriptions and just in-depth analysis, here comes the guy who doesn't know anything about comics. But before we do that, I'm going to get Ed to go through the comments.
All righty. We got Woohoo from the Fourth Monkey. We got Macca's for Dinner, Shan. From
No, I was trying to do that subtle over here. No, it's just like chicken and chips. And chips are terrible cold, so I'm trying to scoff them down.
Do it.
They got 3 Cheers for Literacy. Howdy all. From Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
They got David Shembry. Nice cover. Hi all. Great review, Nathan.
Thanks, Dave. That's very nice.
And it looks cool, especially the bus. The bus did look cool.
Yeah, all the little stuff is so well done.
Yeah. And I have to follow that. Crap. Well,
I'm sure you'll do great.
No, I won't. But thank you for believing in me. Well, first of all, I've got the cover. So he sent me a PDF. But seriously, I do have the cover. Here we go. 3 Hollow.
Hey, did it.
And I cannot go as in-depth. I will admit, I like the opening scene where it's sort of like you're zooming in to the house. I thought that was kind of cool, like a movie. But when I read this, I seriously read all the way through.
Yeah.
Went, oh, is that all? It was a full comic, but I had no idea I'd read that many pages.
So saying that's a good thing.
Sorry, I'm going. I just spent the whole time going, what's happening here? Why are they doing that? What's happening here? Who's that? What's she doing? What are they doing? What's he doing? what are they doing? And the next thing it finishes, and I'm like, what the crap? But yeah, it was a really cool story. It is. Just bring Nathan up for a sec so we can see his link. So there it is, globalcomics.com/C/3-hollow. I bet you wanted that read out.
Yeah, so it's fully free to read. I just put it up there so you can read it, enjoy it, what it is. So until it gets printed one day or something.
Yep, cool. So that's where I read it. Well, I read the PDF first, and then I read it there because I thought they were two different comics. That's a joke between Nathan.
Yeah, to be fair, like there is a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like,
yeah.
But it was done in such a way that it wasn't like, what the fuck are this? Fuck this shit. You were actually like, what is going on? I really want to know what's happening. And then they do this, and then that guy gets the thing through his guts, and you're like, what?
Well, spoilers.
Oh, sorry, spoilers. Sorry. It's free. It's a free comic. It's okay. Spoilers are okay. I didn't say which guy. I just said a guy. So you never know. It could be any guy. It could be random.
There is, how many people is there? Is it
hey,
3?
Guys, so yeah.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. I did enjoy it. And now I'm hanging out for the next issue because I'm just assuming this was setting everything up.
Yeah.
I've actually got the creator in the room so I can ask him. Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, pretty much 100%. So it's like it's like the kind of the pilot of a TV show is kind of
that's the vibe I got.
It's like you're meeting these 3 different main characters, but you don't have their backstories. You're coming into like a series of an event is kind of happening. The main kind of guy, he doesn't know what's going on, and he's just like he's just basically put into a situation where it's like he has to help another person that is I don't know in a really bad spot, and he's like, what would a normal person who's not super toxic is just going to help them out, right? So, and that unfortunately triggered. There's other events going on in the background, and it's basically 3 different characters all connecting in terms of one event. Towards the end of it, they all come together. And I can't really say,
It's
why
not really happy.
No, it's no one's happy in it. They don't. These characters don't like each other. Like it's not like they're like, oh man, I'm happy to see you. It's like he's really like, what are you doing here? He's really jaded, and I think that kind of comes across. And
on that note, Ed, from now on, I'm doing a book of someone we're bringing in so they can do all the talking for me. It was awesome. That was freaking awesome. So, and
you cheated.
For anyone
who
likes a bit of male erotica, there's an awesome little shower scene. You don't see everything, but it's just,
I did this right. I did this. Okay, it's not nudity. It's just doing in the shower, right? But I've taken some heat from people. They're like, you put a lot of thought into that shower, like how he was like standing and like he's got a lot of muscle, and you're focusing on things. I'm like,
I spent a lot of time on that page.
In my mind, I was like, well, if I draw a naked guy, it's going to be semi-naked. But when I have to draw a female in the same thing in the shower, it's like it's balanced, right? So it's equality. So there's going to be, and there is no naked woman or anything in this book, but later on there is, and it's like, well, hey, there's a naked guy. It's something for everyone.
Nice.
I'm glad you enjoyed the shower scene.
Yeah, it was lovely.
That was a big takeaway.
That was my big takeaway. Yep. Shower scene and the zooming in at the beginning and the what the beep is going on.
Yeah. And to be fair, you're not meant to know. Like, you're not meant to know the backstories. You're just meant to
I got
just
that
be
impression.
kind of intrigued. Like, who are these people and what is kind of going on? And you just kind of, my main thing is like, I wanted them to see these people and then just go, I want to know a little bit more. Like,
Yes,
if I
that's
could,
what it did.
you know,
You did it in a good
Yeah.
way, I must admit.
okay.
Yeah, we definitely, Ed, we got to organize this from now on. I got to read someone who's on. This is great. This is great.
Yeah.
I'm loving this.
I like how I did a double review. I did a review on myself.
Yeah.
do a shower scene, guys. It's people. Yeah, no, that's the funniest thing about it, though, is like the most talked about part of the book was like, yeah, that shower scene, pretty raunchy. Like, I'm like, there's no one else in the shower. It's just a guy having a shower, guys. Well, I'm glad everyone enjoyed the shower scene. So
I'm so glad you were here with us.
yeah, there's not full frontal. I'll say that.
No,
there's some conveniently placed steam. You know,
There's
It's
steam
glowing.
to sort of hide things, and it's from the side, and
Beautiful side shot.
saucy stuff. I'm all excited.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you want to come on and let me read your book and you do most of my review for me, that would be awesome. And the best way to do that is go to comx.show/interest. There's a form there, not just this show. Any of the shows that we do, you can show some interest for them. And I will get in contact with you after you fill out that form, and we'll talk about getting you onto a show or shows, whichever way it works out. So that would be awesome if you fill that form out. We want people to come to me because I'm sick of going to people.
That's why you keep coming to me, right? You're like, man,
Well, they can come
Really?
to you, and then you tell them to come to me. That'll
I
work.
got no one this week. Nate, can you come on? I'm like, okay. Sweet.
Yeah. Sorry, Kerry in the background just said, "Don't ask what Sis can do for you. Ask what you can do for Sis."
It's true.
I love it. I love it.
I'm just wondering how many of us are listed in your phone under fill in.
Enough of that. Oh, and while we're in the middle of the show, this is a good time to catch people and go like the video, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
If you want to see more, you got to subscribe.
Mm.
If you don't
yeah.
subscribe, I don't get paid. You know, that's
It's
a big
true.
that's a big thing.
If you subscribe, I don't get paid. Oh, hang on.
How much money? We're not getting paid for this.
Checks in the
Doing something
mail.
wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all in exposure, just like your shower scene.
Oh, see. Wow.
I
Book-
think
book
that
two.
you subscribe for more means more in the shower scene.
This feels like the only OnlyFans on earth where they'd pay you to put your clothes back on.
No, that would be my channel. Anyway, Comics After Night. Look it up.
It's going to go on the blurb like, are you a fan of showering men? This is the comic for you. Deep thoughts in the shower. Yeah.
Tastefully drawn nudes.
Well, this is one part of the night where we all get to plug something. Before the show, I knew exactly what I was going to plug. After this show, right now, in this particular part of the show, I have no idea anymore what I plan to plug. All I've got in my head is nude men. I'm sorry.
It happens.
Well, I'll still do the minute and see what I can come up with. So I'll go first and try to remember what I was going to talk about. So we'll just sit here while I think. No, I'll get the video if I can find it. Yep, and away we go. Well, I could promote Stellar Lands, but that finished today. For anyone who missed it, though, we are doing the late pledge. This is a new thing with Kickstarter, where if you missed out, you can pledge a little later on, and they put on a % extra, so it's costs a little bit more than if you had a pledge in the first place. I think like $1 or $2 or something. So if you missed out and you still want the book, get in there, do the late pledge. But most of today has been celebrating the fact that we absolutely knocked it out of the park. 200 and something % over target.
Nice.
Oh, well done.
That's pretty cool. The other big news I've got, I don't think I can say yet. Maybe leave that for next week. So, yeah, well done, Max. Well done, the ComX Studio team, who all helped promote it. And, yeah, I'm just going to celebrate that little fact and leave it at that. Okay. Let's go backwards just to mix it up a bit. Nathan. You've got your minutes.
I think we'll literally plug my comic like for half of the show. So read it if you want to read.
More. Go.
If you're a fan of not just shower scenes, but interesting characters that you don't always know what's going on, but more thrillers, a little bit of action, a bit of intrigue, it could be the comic for you. And if you like I tried to make the scenery, and it's set in the mountains, not in Australia, in a random part of America somewhere. But I tried to make the character, this what do you call it, the area, like the actual scene part of the character in itself. So, yeah, it's everything I like relative to one comic, and I hope other people like it too. So
I like it too.
Sis likes it, and he gave it a 9.5 out of 10. So
yeah, that's what it was.
Can't argue with that. So there you go. Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan.
Nice.
Okay, now it's your turn, Sareb.
Awesome.
Tell us about yourself and what you want to promote.
I promote my website.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I'm from ComX.1. I'm the founder, and we're building a place on the internet that's dedicated to independent comics from around the world. And of course, we've landed our first bunch of Australian books from Wild North Comics, some really cool books from Aidan Roberts and a bunch of award-winning Australian artists in there. And yeah, so the next version of ComX.1 is we're releasing an iPad app very soon, and some really cool features that can supercharge fan experience for building fan experience for comic book creators. So yeah, if you want to join the site as a creator, most welcome. And if you are looking for something to read, you can go on ComX.1 and filter by categories and whatever kind of books you like. Yeah, that's my TED Talk.
Awesome, man.
That's how you sell it. Yeah.
Well done.
Good stuff. And I've got to get off my ass and get our comics in there as well. Language. Whoops. I was worse than that just a second ago without thinking about it. Yeah, Ed's agreeing. He's going, yeah, Shane, that's this one. See, I'm in so much trouble. I'm using my actual name. Before we go, do you want to look at some comments before we do you guys?
Sure.
Is there more comments? I'm not looking. I'm not watching.
We got a wave from Jonas Olsen.
Oh, that's someone new.
We got Jiro Illustrates. Love that Avengers t-shirt.
I love that t-shirt too, by the way.
So yay, over 200%. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And Jeffrey's well done for the Kickstarter as well.
Thanks, Jeffrey. And
Thanks,
to
Jeffrey.
those people who are new, if you haven't subscribed already, this would be a good time to do it. So, Shannon, do you have anything to subscribe to promote? Because last time you promoted ComX, which was awesome. Are you doing that again, or you got something for yourself or a friend or something?
I'll be honest with you. Like at the moment, what I would like to promote is the fact that I really need a job. So if anybody out there, I'm located in Sydney. I'm a graphic designer and illustrator, but I'm also a video producer and editor. As Sis keeps on plugging, I do motion graphics and stuff that I do for people. I also make posters and do Photoshop manipulation and stuff like that. So if anybody knows of anything going or is looking for anyone or even wants a little bit of one-off work done, contact me through my Instagram, which is Shan Studios, SHANN Studios. And yeah, please drop me a line if you know anything. Other than that, like when it comes to ComX, watch all the Scissor shows. Ed's on a bunch. We have wonderful guests like Nathan and Sarib. I hope I pronounced that right, mate. There's a show every night, Sis?
Every night, except Wednesdays, only every second week. So I get to have a break every second Wednesday.
Okay.
And he was talking about a new show that may be in the works as well.
Yes. He's trying to find some way of plugging that gap because the last thing he wants to do is relax.
Yeah,
He wants to read file, sort of thing. So yeah, hit subscribe. Come and check out all the shows. We always have a bunch of great guys on, or let me rephrase that. Great people on. Some very talented artists come in and draw stuff for us. And they're all clowns and they're all goose, so they're all a lot of fun to listen to. So hang about at ComX for more stuff. And you didn't put the timer on, so I had no idea how long.
No, you were promoting us, so I wasn't gonna,
Oh, let him talk all night if he's talking about you. Yeah.
There's no limit when you're talking about ComX and Sis.
No.
Oh, stop! No, keep going.
So Ed, your turn, my friend.
Okay. So I'm Ed Kisley. I do a comic book called Radical. This is 1 and issue 2. There's issue 3 is out and available. Issue 4 is done and is just waiting for proof. And then we're going to be doing a Kickstarter for that. And I got Ed Kisley Art at Instagram and on Patreon, and that'll show you my other comics like Sea Mandrills from Earth. I've got a fantasy book called Master Axe as well, and doing the Final Dragon comic for ComX, which is very close to being ready for getting colored and leaded.
Oh,
so
busy man.
That's that. Yeah, and that's me done.
6 seconds to spare. Talked about me for a little bit, so I was going to give you more time.
This is better than therapy.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I think this is the time where Ed presses that special button of that ad that amuses me to no end. This is more for my entertainment than yours.
Are you feeling a little down? Tired of reading the same old books again and again? Looking for something different? Why not head over to the ComX shop now and pick yourself up some freshly inked inspiration?
Yeah, inspiration. So I guess we're at the part of the show where I say, hey, everyone, if you're interested in being on the show, now that you've seen the whole thing,
Could be me.
go to comx.show/interest and tell us that you want to be on one of these shows. I can't read your mind. Seriously. Everyone seems to think I can, but I can't. So let me know you want to be on the show, and we'll get you on one of these shows, and we'll all have a fun time together. So, yes. We've had a few people who filled out that form, and they've now been on shows or about to be on shows. So, yeah, it's working. It's working.
Do it.
Now, we have, for anyone familiar with the show, we've cut a section, cut it out, so that we can go straight to the outro on the hour. And I can't believe how close we are to the hour.
I've got some comments too.
Go through the comments, my friend, and then we can go on our way.
Shannon, you convinced me to buy a copy of Plastic Man Archives. I'd been considering it for a while, then I saw your recommendation.
Oh, excellent, Dave. Yeah, you have to tell me what you think when you go through it, mate, because I've always been impressed by it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts as well.
Dave's here. Hi, Dave. Thanks again for your help.
Oh, good
But-
stuff.
Joe Rose back, of course. I've subscribed. How could I not? And did that from Jonas. It's Shawnee, new show.
See? People are interested. They want to know.
People are interested.
Jeffrey.
Oh,
Oh,
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. I appreciate it.
Got Red.
Hi, Red.
hey, Red.
And great show, people, from
Andrew.
Andrew Law.
Thanks.
that
Andrew.
helps me a
And
bunch. So
one thing I
thank you.
wanted to add before we go. This Saturday, I will be doing Amateur Hour. It's back.
Oh,
Nice.
That's just
Nice.
me drawing really badly and talking crap. If you're into that. And
So you're you're reenacting my high school.
I just realized that what I was going to promote in my promotion, I'm the boss, so I get to do it now. I didn't actually remember. Kerry just reminded me. This Sunday we are going to the the Brisbane Comic Market. That's at Comics Plus, the comic shop, and we will be there for a couple of hours selling not only comic studio books, but we will be selling everything in the shop. So if you've got a book with us, we will be trying to sell it this Sunday.
nice.
So everyone in Brisbane, get there.
Nice.
I love the power I have.
You can't read
Hey.
mine, but it seems Kerry can read yours.
Yeah, we can read mine.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, thanks, Alison. I just saw that comment. Thanks. Cool. I guess that's the end. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Thank you, the people on the screen. And thank you for the comments. And thank you to the people who watched this after it was live. We thank you as well, because that's
Thank you,
awesome.
teacher.
And
Future people.
and go to comx.show, watch reruns of anything we've had on in the past. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Till next time.
Awesome. Till next time. See
Hasta
ya.
luego.
Bye.
Like, share, and subscribe.